then you need to do more listening.
Yeah, it's a problem not only with people who are criminalized and who you're interacting with when you're on patrols and stuff like that. Just the whole concept of like not being born with the right political orthodoxy, like that, you know, if you're not feminist and if you're not, you know, down with the concepts of colonialism and white supremacy and patriarchy, then you're sort of alienated. It's also a problem when you're recruiting new people to your group. A specific example with Winnipeg Copwatch that I'm aware of is someone came in and we're like, hey, this is who we are, and then we have an orientation sort of one-on-one session, and we talk about how Copwatch sort of arose out of the Black Panthers, or sort of worked with the Black Panthers, and that, you know, we agree with what the Black Panthers were doing, and we think they're a good organization, positive organization. And then the person says, well, I thought those guys were racist against white people. Like, they hated white people. Isn't that racist? And then the people who were doing the orientation were like, whoa, like, you're not allowed to say that. Like, I'm sorry, but you can't be involved in this group, or like, you can't say that. Like, no. The Black
We're not going to have a conversation about it?
Yeah. Because it was just sort of, if you're sort of in the mindset and like the only people you know are sort of politically aligned in that radical sense, and someone comes in who has the best of intentions and is, you know, they're not racist, they're not, they've got the right mindset, but they don't know sort of specific rules about how you can talk about things.
To be politically correct training, basically, like.
Well, they're yeah, but it's a problem. Like, agreeing with the Black Panthers is not politically correct. So you need to be like beyond political correctness to radical correctness.
What happened to deep understanding?
That's what I meant by, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, it's like, oh, slip in. Deep understanding. Annalisa, and then we'll go ahead.
One thing that I wanted to talk about when you were in terms of you were talking about, you know, people not wanting to be videotaped. What we do is we ask people, and we tell them also that we're not videotaping you, we're videotaping the police.
Nice.
You know, and say that. And so it's and then if they're like, don't videotape me, we say, okay, we won't, we're videotaping the police, we're not videotaping you. And then we say what we're doing, you know? Because you have to have consent and you have to be vocal about what you're doing, especially when people have no clue who the fuck you are. You know? And then another thing that is really, I mean, we haven't done this as much, but is a really good tactic for us, is to go around and wheat paste. Just be like, are the cops fucking with you? Join Copwatch, have the, you know, have the telephone number, have the email address, whatever, and have the meeting dates. And just make that visible within the community, you know, make that visible where you live, make it visible around where you meet, so that people are like, oh, what do? I just got harassed by the police. And then you look over and here's, have you been harassed by the police? Copwatch, you know, you're like, oh shit, I just got harassed right now, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You know, Annalisa, just one thing that lets people know the difference between you and the cops in that situation is that if you were a cop, just because somebody said stop, you wouldn't. You'd be like, yeah. And if somebody said stop, you go, okay, you know why I'm stopping? Yeah. This is for you.
Dignity.
You want this tape, you know our number, hopefully. But I want to hear from you guys, and I want to go over just a few basics that we all can handle that would just lay some foundation for getting the Copwatch started.
Okay, just to answer one of your earlier questions, I like the term Copwatch. I like it. It's what drew me in the first place. Same with Courtwatch. I saw Courtwatch, I was like, I want to check that out. Because I know it's going to be like action-oriented, and I'm hoping and presuming there's going to be some good analysis behind it too. But maybe I've just been lucky in my experiences so far. And what that experience was doing Copwatch work through a street youth group. So maybe we're just, because I've done that work coming from a completely different, like I was going on a patrol with like homeless youth, and it was mostly, I would say, white and Native people. So we had a really different kind of Copwatch experience, and the term was good. It's like aggressive, assertive, or whatever. That drew some people. That got bodies on the street going out. This was in Kitchener. And it was through a youth organization group that was like all about decolonizing and organizing, doing anti-poverty, anti-racist work, because in Kitchener there's pretty strong, there was at the time, a lot of them had been moved on or driven out, I guess, white supremacist organizing, so it was all bundled up together. So I don't think that term's always going to be off-putting. I guess it's really depending on where that's coming from. It was a pretty grassroots organization. Like we would be having a meeting, like we'd be like discussing the Black Panthers or something, and someone would come up and say, "Hey, there's an arrest going down the street," and we would just grab our walkie-talkies and go. That was the way it would be done sometimes, and other times we'd go out on patrol at night in the downtown scene and sort of thing. So just a different perspective. And we did keep pasting, and there was this great poster that went up of a particular cop. It had his image even in, was it? His image, his badge number, and this cop was a brutal cop, and we were People's Justice there. Yeah.
Were you going to say this?
Yeah, I just want to share a little bit
Together.
a bit more about that. So this was in 2001 to 2004 in Kitchener, and we ran a program out of a place called The Spot. And so me being the exception, I think it was primarily like working class and poor youth. And just to sort of emphasize some of the points that people have made, the importance of relationships, like what we did, I think, was not just run a program, but build a family, and then a community. And because a lot of people came into the organization, they don't come because of ideology, especially working in that particular community. Many have been in jail. Like jails are schools for patriarchy, for racism, homophobia, and so they don't come into the organization with the correct ideology, right? So they come because it's their friends, this family, and then they can become a bit maybe more educated about the politics and the ideology.